episode 11 in the Crowdcreate Mastermind series. We're going to be taking a look at trading. What are the biggest trading plays for 2021? What happens when Wall Street meets crypto? You'll even get portfolio recommendations from the expert and what COVID trading plays to watch for. These are the experts that are trading every single day and watch the markets closely. They're going to be answering all of these questions on this crypto trading mastermind.
Dave, I'd love for you to go first. Professional equity options trader since 2013. We know you well, and yeah.
Sure, yeah. Yeah, just a little bit about myself. I've been trading the options for about 7 years. Before that, I was a financial advisor at Merrill Lynch. And really what I look for is I look for catalysts that make stocks go up or down. And mostly my time period centers around a week or maybe a month at the most. So I'm looking for those plays like, a potential GameStop where there's a high short interest, where I'm looking to see if there's a turning point where all of a sudden people are interested in, covering the stock because there's some kind of news that will make it go up. One of the things that I'm really excited about right now is it's part of the reopening trade, right? I mean, everyone is excited to get their vaccines. And next week, there's some really interesting information coming out from Johnson & Johnson. They're coming out with their one-shot vaccine, which I think could potentially be a game changer for the reopening stock. So the thing that I really like a lot right now is CVS stock, which has, is uniquely positioned. About 85% of the population lives within a 4-mile radius of the population. So, they have about 10,000 pharmacies across the US. They have a new CEO, Karen Lynch, which I think is going to pull in a lot of ESG mandated money. Nowadays, mutual funds and hedge funds, not hedge funds, but mutual funds and endowments, they're looking for, those companies that check off those boxes. And she's going to be the biggest CEO with it, the biggest run woman within the S&P 500, the biggest company. So I think that stock is just uniquely positioned. So what I own is I own the 80s for February 80 calls. I also own the 90 for January for next year. Just imagine everyone that gets a vaccine will go into a CVS store. When they're there, they're going to buy other stuff that's there. So it's going to drive up the revenues, and it's not being factored into the stock price. So I think, within a year, that stock could be over $100 easily. One of the things that I actually would like to ask the community, and maybe you guys could run a poll, is who of you think that this J&J data that's coming out, if the efficacy is more than 80%, do you think that will drive up the reopening stocks by about 50% of when the vaccine information first came out for Pfizer? Do you think it will have a similar effect? That I think would be interesting if we could put a poll up on that. Is that enough, or is there more?
Yeah, that was great, Dave. That was really good. Does anyone have any questions or comments for Dave? I know he's a whiz when it comes to Bloomberg. I've seen him do work on his terminal, and
yeah, I mean the Bloomberg is really useful for me because it's access, right? So if I want to reach out to an analyst and pick their brain, that's something that they're open to. Whereas if you're not part of that Bloomberg community, you're a little bit more restricted in that sense. And just the data flow, constant news that comes across my screen. I have a list of stocks that will automatically hit my email that'll tell me if there's unusual option activity or if there's some news that comes out even from Elon Musk. So it's quite helpful.
Awesome. Thanks, Dave.
You're welcome.
Yeah. Doc, if you'd like to go next, I know that you've been in the trading industry for quite some time, and love to hear about what you're working on.
Okay. All right. I'm going to I'm going to share my screen here real quick with you guys, and I promise not to mess things up. Hopefully you can see this okay. Should see a nice purple screen here. Okay, so again, my name is Doc Severson. I am with ReadySetCrypto, ReadySetTrade. So these are two different services, and I find this a little quicker if I just go through this and give you a visual anchor on what I do. So I've been doing this now professionally since 2005, traded just about every type of market you could imagine that's out there. And as of 2017, we started trading crypto as well too with ReadySetCrypto. So ReadySetTrade is actually a fairly new service that we started about a year ago or so. And if you've heard of me before, you might have heard of me through either Options MD or TheoTrade or some of the other services that I've been part of. And my specialties are fractal price analysis using multiple timeframes to split things apart, using price-based action on that, and then trading edge through options and future strategies. I've written a couple of books about this, Hacking the Holy Grail, which is really a book about understanding how the mind and your attitude and your mindset can affect your trading for that. So it's kind of unique when it comes to the trading space. And the book I came out with just last year was Fractal Energy Trading, which is kind of my proprietary system that I put together using price and energy to understand edge in markets. What I am most excited about. So again, I've been trading for about 25 years, 15 of them as a professional. This intersection between that's happening between SPACs and specifically optionable SPACs to me is just amazing, the opportunity that's out there. So I can use these options to identify which SPACs that I want to own. And sometimes this also carries over to the new IPO as it goes through the merger, and dial in a price that I want to own it at, get paid for the pullback through cash secured puts, which is a very simple but very effective strategy, which allows me to manage risk in these. I'm also excited about warrants that are available for any stocks that do not offer options. So warrants are another way to do this. And then with respect to crypto, I'm also enthusiastic about using options through companies like LedgerX to be able to use the edge that comes with options, if you know how to use them, to be able to acquire assets. So what can the community do to help? Really what we're trying to do, and not to steal everybody, but there's also always another tribe that you can join. We're looking to add people to our tribe. So our 10X tribe has got a number of free courses, a lot of information, everything coming out every day. If you want to connect with me, this is the best way to get on board, is to join our 10X tribe at elite.readyset.trade. So that's the website to sign up there, join for free. And that's what I'm looking for. So with that, I'm going to surrender this back to you guys. I'm going to stop the share. Back to you, Ivan.
Thanks, Doc. Any questions that you'd like to know from other traders, or even just for the most part, I know that you have a community, but what is the most interesting topic right now for?
Well, I think a lot of people are getting into the YOLO trade, and it's not something that I specialize in. It's not something that I really recommend to most people, but I'm seeing more and more people. It's almost a category that people want to get into, you know, like you only live once, so I'm going to bet everything on this, which I think is not a way towards long-term success, but I see an enormous amount of people that want to get into something like that. So I don't know if you guys have any comments on something like that. It's usually not something I recommend to people, but it's what everybody's interested in right now.
You know, I agree with you. I think there's a lot of, there's a lot of hype out there, and it's easy to get sucked in to all the excitement, and that's why I'm actually, telling, my friends and family they should really look at companies that have real fundamental businesses behind behind it, and CVS is one of those companies, and as are some of the mall-based REITs like Simon Properties. But this whole idea of ganging up on specifically highly shorted into stocks is it's kind of insane.
Well, I think people have heard about the some of the stories lately about people like paying off their mortgage based on GameStop from the gains from that. But I'm also hearing a lot of horror stories from people that were trying to play just a simple straddle on something like GameStop, and then all of a sudden the broker stops the trading and they get locked out of the trade, they get assigned, they get exercised, and they book a $26,000 loss. So there's two sides to every coin for this. I think people have to be careful with the amount of noise going on out there.
Well, the insane thing about a stock like GameStop is that the short interest on that is 140%, right? So that doesn't really add up, right? I mean, if all the shares are sold short, they should not be able to, you should not be able to buy it, right? If all the shorts have shorted the stock, you should not be able to buy the stock.
This is why I don't like derivatives and markets, specifically crypto, because this is what's going to happen next, and which is what they want to happen, because of course you can make more money if you don't actually own things like Bitcoin by having the derivatives. But I'm with you. It didn't make sense to short it that much to where it went, but that's the games that they're playing right now that nobody's calling out Wall Street on, I feel like.
Yeah, and this idea of the brokerage companies shutting down people, that doesn't add up either. I don't get it. So maybe there's some vested interest from hedge funds.
Oh, they've got decades-long alliances that are behind the scenes that that we don't know about.
Regulators, all that's lobbyists, they're in there.
So this is what I said to my folks like the other day. It was like, okay, Wall Street bets 1, hedge funds 0, but this is day 1 of a very long war. So these guys are ruthless. They're very smart, and they know how to fight back. They know how to adapt. So it's not going to be so easy on the next stock that you see, which has got a large short interest against the float.
Yeah, no, I agree. That's why I stay away from it. Unless, of course, you get into it beforehand. That's a different story.
You got to be in it to win it. You can't ape into anything like that. So if there's one lesson that people can learn is like, you've got to learn to take the trades that feel bad, because those are the ones that are likely to work for you.
Yeah, and I think a lot of us here experience, knowing the 2008 crash. We saw the crypto crash in 2017, 2018. Gravity does exist, and no matter how parabolic sometimes the markets go, it always returns back. Cool. King Bless, would love for you to go next.
Thank you. I appreciate you all having me here as well. So I'm King Bless. I am the co-founder of the KRBE Digital Assets Group, KRBE Digital Assets Group. Of course, one of our main things is our podcast and YouTube show, The Gentlemen of Crypto. We've been doing that since 2017. I started in crypto in 2016 with my business partner, Bitcoin Zay, as he goes by, author of Bitcoin in Black America. He was in crypto, I think 2014 or so. I found out about it from him in 2016. Initially, we started, let's say, a small family investment fund. We were one of the first crypto investment funds in 2016 doing that. We rolled that out all the way through 2017, did a good job of that, which actually prompted us having the show because of client questions and stuff, family members asking us how things are working. We just started doing a podcast and YouTube for it. Of course, did very well there. And so my main thing that I'm most excited about is just the marketplace in general. Of course, the price of Bitcoin is going up, but not just the price, the fundamentals under it, the technical things that can actually do for us globally. And the thing I need help with from the community is helping to build up our YouTube channel. We're on episode like 648, 49 today. We do it 5 days a week. We try to do 30 minutes. We cover general, broad knowledge of all crypto news or the top headlines of the day. Because the thing we found out early on with the investment side of things is that people don't even understand the basic things, and they get scared when they see the FUD come out. So our whole thing was, all right, let's do a 30-minute show every day where we can go over the top stories in the news, top things that's going on in crypto, and hit on some of the broad things, whether it's mining, whether it's ICO. Again, my business partner used to actually mine Litecoin back in the day. We've done ICOs live early 2017, some in 2016 before they were even a thing. Like literally, we've been all across the space. We work with regulators. Unfortunately, receive guidance from the SEC on different things. So it's one of those things where we've been all across the space. We have, pretty good general knowledge all across the space, niche knowledge in some things, like I said, things like mining, ICOs, regulations. But what I need from the community is to help us build that YouTube channel. For YouTube algorithms to really kick in for a lot of channels, they want you to have at least 10,000 subscribers. Luckily, because of this bull run, we were able to increase our subscribership another 1,100 in the last 30 days. So that's been great. So we're almost like 5,500. But we're definitely, our goal for this year is to get our subscribers up to 10,000. Our shows are great. Everybody loves it. So there's no reason for us not to be out there. But that is the short-term goal, to help with mass adoption, to help bring new people over to crypto and have a place for them to ask questions live, to hear news stories live, and to get feedback live. That way it's not just this person said this person said that, who's supposed to be the subject matter expert. It's like, no, you can access these questions live. You can look them up and do the due diligence yourself as well, and see that we've also done our legwork. So that's where I would appreciate the community helping that.
Does anyone have any comments or questions? Yeah, I'm looking at your videos now. It looks like your most popular ones were actually on tutorials for these wallets and exchanges. On our last mastermind, actually twice now, Alex Mashinsky, the CEO of Celsius Network, he attends our blockchain crypto. You know, we encourage you to listen to that as well. What is the biggest demand that you see on YouTube in terms of getting virality and getting your videos popular on the algorithm?
Yeah, like you said, the tutorials really help more than anything. But I honestly, I can't even answer that question. If I knew the answer to that question, we'd be at 100,000 plus by now. I will say,
a clickbaity thumbnail.
Yeah, the thumbnail is important. I will say, I think there was some fake volume going on at first for a lot of these channels, because if you remember, I believe it was last year, year before, YouTube actually purged a lot of big crypto people out there. A lot of crypto YouTubers had all their videos deleted or taken down, or their channel permanently removed. Not one of our videos was affected by that. And again, we have over hundreds of tutorial videos, as well as just daily live podcasts. We don't only just do the daily live shows. We have tutorials, like you said, you know, how to trade on Bittrex or whatever. That was a popular one. But for a lot of people who got shut down, our eyebrows raised, because it was like, yo, you're averaging like 10, 20,000 views. We thought that was weird. And then for the video to get pulled, it was weird too. So I'm not sure how the algorithm works.
Very interesting. Thomas, do you have any insight? I know that you had a YouTube channel as well, right?
Yeah, and I got shut down.
What happened?
10,000 subscribers. Well, what happened? I basically had an open mouth about scammers. You know, all those websites, you know, where you put in your cryptos and you get like, you know, 10% per day returns or something like this. And I had an open mouth about all those scams. You know, those send two Ethereum to this wallet and you get 4 Ethereum back. You guys have no idea how many people actually fall for this. You know, I created on my website this crypto help tab where people can get help, and I got actually contacted by like crypto influencers with hundreds of thousands of followers that even fall for some of those scams. And I think why I got shut down is because those scammers are good with bots. I mean, as you guys know, you know, how to get on the first page of YouTube, you know, you run a live stream, put 28,000 bots on it. Hell yeah, YouTube's going to push you. So yeah, I think they just flagged my channel to death because I was pointing them out, and yeah.
It was almost like a SWAT campaign. Yeah, they called the police and told you it was a gun in your house. SWAT team this guy.
Yeah, I know. But I'm blessed in abundance. I mean, I can't complain. That's how I've been in Bitcoin. I bought my first Ethereum for $15. So, you know, I'm doing quite well. And one of my clients runs Bedford Capital in Florida. And yeah, I'm working now as a crypto advisor for him, nice. You know, which is fantastic. So I'm giving advice to institutional investors. You know, I write a report every week for them. And yeah, I'm sorry if I'm taking some, I don't know if you finished King Blast or
I'm finished, man. No.
Okay, perfect. Then I can continue with my, so yeah, I work for Bedford Capital as a wealth management group in Florida. And I mean, they just started to get into crypto a year ago when their clients wanted to buy Bitcoin. You know, they were just giving advice on health stocks, pharmacy stocks, this and that. But yeah, they just got so much demand of institutional investors wanting to get into crypto. So yeah, they hired me. I write for their clients a weekly report, and I also help them personally, you know, if they have questions, because We encourage our investors to be custodians of their own Bitcoin. We don't hold any Bitcoin for clients. We want them to be their own custodians, so we help them with everything: cold storage, how to acquire Bitcoin, OTC, this and that. And as a side thing, I run Coincado.com, which used to be my YouTube channel, but now it's just a crypto help website where people can book a session with me and I help them with their problems. And yeah, what I'm most excited about, yeah, crypto's changed a lot in the last few years. I mean, it's not anymore the same as in 2017. Where most of the altcoins were still ERC20 coins, the ICO hype, this and that. Now we're getting actually some really nice projects, and with this whole pandemic, everyone is just basically waking up to the devaluation of the US dollar, and the opportunities that present themselves are huge for institutional investors, and also for the for the private investor, who just has a few grand to invest. And especially in the US, I have clients who invested their IRA into crypto, which is, for people in the UK, it's like, we can't even do this. You have to work until 65 and then you get your pension fund. That's it, So the tools are getting amazing. And what I also think is a big opportunity is, crypto has been around for so long, and some people are afraid that the governments shut it down, this and that. But I think governments. I also have one client who works for the IRS, and she's very deeply involved into the whole crypto part of the IRS. And she told me, they have been preparing for crypto for the past 4 or 5 years. The US government invests millions of dollars to prepare them for crypto. And I think if they would ban it, they wouldn't invest so much time and effort and money to regulate it. So I'm glad that the government's going to the direction of regulate it instead of ban it. And yeah, we'll see how it goes, but the opportunities are endless for everyone. And yeah, what the community can help me with, I'm writing currently a book about Bitcoin security, which I'm planning to publish on Amazon as a free ebook you can get on your Kindle. I don't have it ready yet. Hope when I have it, maybe I can pitch it or something, and yeah, share my experience that I collected in the 4 or 5 years of dealing with institutional clients and private clients on how to secure crypto, or basically how to not lose your cryptos. Yeah, that's me.
Thanks, Thomas. You should definitely join our crypto mastermind. We have exchanges, like the CEO's exchanges on there, and it's a phenomenally interesting space.
Yeah.
What are your favorite exchanges that you're using right now for crypto?
Well, I'm blessed that I'm in Europe, so I can use all the Asian exchanges. So I use mainly Binance and Huobi privately, because they have those lock drops and this and that, where you can farm. You lock up your Polkadot or your Ethereum for like 30 days. You get like free tokens in return. So yeah, I'm blessed that I'm in Europe, so I can use those Asian exchanges. So I'm using them, yeah, a lot.
What CEOs of exchanges did you have on previously?
We had Loopring. So,
okay, cool.
Yeah, and then there was Blockbank that was on, and he's doing AI trading for crypto, one of the early miners. Ivan, who else have we had on from the exchange standpoint?
Cool.
Let's see, there's a bunch, and we actually have a few lined up as well. So people that we work with, I'm trying to think off the top of my head, but we've worked with Zilla. It's an exchange, I think, in Japan. But it's so interesting that you say that, because yeah, the opportunities in the exchanges in other countries are so much more vast than what we have in America. And actually, it's so funny because you see that with Binance, where they spin off a separate entity just for the United States customers. What do you guys think about the decentralized exchanges now, like DYDX? And I know those are
I mean, I like decentralized exchanges. I think the last thing when it comes to decentralized exchanges, which will be the most important, is the onboarding, offboarding. Is it possible being decentralized? Right now, it is not in totality. So I think that'll be the big, onboarding, offboarding fiat currency to crypto, which again, right now it looks like decentralized exchanges, most of them you need to already have crypto to go into it. So that kind of defeats the point of the exchange, because now you can trade in app or in wallet with cross-atomic swaps. So you don't even need an exchange if you're just going to go crypto to crypto. But I think if they can figure out the onboarding issue, it'll be a very good thing for the space.
Yeah, agreed. That was our last discussion about making the bridge easy for crypto. And right now it's just, it's a bunch of technical people and geeks and nerds. But to get mass market, you have to make the UI as simple as possible. And completely agree.
I think the UI, even if it is better, you're right about that for sure. But then the next step will be the unforeseen thing, and that's going to be the regulator. It's like, oh, okay, you can't onboard easily now to DEXs. That's illegal. Like, I really think that'll just be the next move. As soon as you're able to do it, they're going to be like, no, you're not going to do that.
Yeah. From a FinCEN standpoint, I know that they're very sensitive about just any touch money. You have to dot your I's, cross your T's.
Yeah.
Cool. James Walker would love for you to go next. The Wolf of Crypto, as he's known on YouTube.
Yeah. Can everybody hear me all right? Everything good? I know I was having some technical difficulties earlier with my other computer, but yeah, like you said, I'm the Wolf of Crypto. I've actually been in crypto now for about going 3 years. Started my YouTube channel back in like 2017. I think what caught my eye the most is way crypto blockchain technology really can teach people how to be financially literate. As we've seen this week with Robinhood, GameStop, AMC, what's been going on, I think Robinhood might be done. I know the SEC is going to get involved. It's going to be really ugly. And it's crazy because like it took them 8 years to really build up their brand. And then all of a sudden it just took them 8 hours. And now they're just going to be on, heads are spinning. But as far as me personally, I've had experience working with trading bots. So if you guys are familiar with Crypto Hopper, Mudrex trading, I've kind of been in that realm of things. I've actually had some success using trading bots. And I've also been trading across different exchanges. It's very hard being a US citizen and trying to really find exchanges to really be able to trade on. The ones mainly that I've been using that are able for US citizens is Voyager. Voyager is an app that is really easy to use. I love it because, like I said, being a US citizen customer, it's hard to always find those exchanges to be able to trade, especially when Binance made that huge announcement back, I think it was last year, when they said, all US citizens will be in cutoff due to the regulations, yada, 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 all that stuff. So I think just being like a regular guy that might be coming into the crypto realm that's looking to, kind of understand, like, how do I really necessarily get into this space? Because a lot of people right now, I feel like they read the news, they don't really do their due diligence, they don't do any type of research, and they get just kind of influenced that, the crypto space is very bad. You can lose your money because if you don't have your private keys. I mean, I have a lot of arguments to that as far as like the way that goes about. I know when it comes to the banking system, how the regular financial institution kind of goes about how their traditional ways. Yeah, we have a bank account number that anybody can hack, right? Anybody can go in there with how many numbers you have. They can hack that easily. Your money's being manipulated. You put your money into these banks and they're making all these loans on the back end, making all this money. You don't get any type of interest. We have now different platforms in the crypto realm where they're basically an essential crypto bank account. Like, I'm not sure if you guys have heard of Nexo. Nexo is a great platform where you can just pretty much hodl your crypto, put crypto in there, and you can gain interest pretty much every day. You compound interest, you're able to get credit lines. So for me, I'm more trying to be an advocate for those that are not really educated on the whole crypto space, and really trying to teach people, give them the fundamentals of, how do you really, when is a good time to really trade with crypto? Because we all know crypto is very volatile. It's a volatile market. You can get ate up by whales and all different type of people that are in this particular game. So for me, with my small base community, I'm just trying to show people, hey, you can really live off crypto. That's another thing I do too. That's kind of like my whole alias behind the whole Wolf Crypto. I live off crypto. So I have 3 to 4 different crypto debit bank cards that I can use at any given time. There's no restrictions. You can cash out if you need to. So that's really just kind of me in a nutshell. It's just, I'm just trying to do my best to teach, educate, and really put crypto in its proper place. A lot of people think that crypto is going to be the future of money. I really think so. I truly believe that. I believe that the generation that's behind me, all they see is tech. So as we, get a little bit more educated, I know people are asking for regulations and all this, but it's like, you also look at this point of view as well. Look at the regulations that we have in stocks. People manipulate that market all the time. They've been manipulating that market for, I don't know how long Wall Street's ever been around. So I know there's certain things about the regulation about crypto that leaves a bad taste in certain people's mouth. Yes, it'll be regulated to a certain extent, but at the same time, I really truly believe you have to leave some of that freedom and that governance to the people, because you see what people can do. People have basically got Robinhood to a 1-star review on Google Play within an hour. Like, people have that power, the influence, social media, all that. If you can get all these groups and people like that to join together and really try to take out the bad guys, which we know who the true bad guys are. We know who the crooks are. Like, it's plain and simple, man. So, yeah, I think that's kind of like a little introduction about who I am as far as with crypto goes. And as far as what I got kind of working on this year, I know with my channel, and I've been doing some consultations with people, I'm actually thinking about maybe, I don't know how I would do this, but I'm not sure if anybody has seen the TV show Billions. But I do kind of want to create my own like capital firm as far as just crypto goes, and not just, control people's money, yada, yada, but educate people on their money, teach them about offline wallets. So like, let's just say they do get profits out of the exchange and they want to put it in a safe place. Well, you got to be able to, transfer that from the exchange, put that to your offline wallet, make sure you have your private keys. So I'm just trying, I'm in the space of just educating, making money, and just at the end of the day, try to bring everybody together. Because what we've seen from crypto communities from ever since crypto's been around, communities are strong, man. Even though
James, it's interesting you say that, because communities are truly what's powering a lot of these movements right now. And I know Heather just had a question. You mentioned Robinhood. It's, Robinhood really made it easy for people to get into the game, both for traditional and for crypto. And it's really interesting to see that these platforms are actually becoming the gateways for people to enter these opportunities.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
You're seeing it's really interesting, because it's not just in the trading space, but even apps and like Parlor and other ones, and they can just literally shut down communities at a click of a button. So it's really,
James,
really curious to see this.
James, you mentioned Voyager. So the CEO of Voyager, Steve Ehrlich, he was on our mastermind 2 months ago. And actually, I know these exchanges, and if you'd like, we'd be happy to make an introduction to him, because these exchanges and also the platforms, they're looking to work with educators like yourself and influencers that can build that Robinhood army, to build the GameStop army, and that are doing it in a way that you're actually bringing education. Because I do know from an exchange standpoint, and we have the CEOs on here, their biggest problem right now is customer service tickets. And so the problems using these platforms, it's very complicated, and they're trying to staff up. But we encourage them to work with influencers like yourself that can educate people on how to use some of the more advanced features, so they don't have to blast their
and that's
tickets.
One thing I like about Voyager too. Oh, my bad, I didn't mean to cut
no,
you.
go ahead.
When it comes to customer service, even prime example today, I've actually got a couple people on that app, and my boy hit me up, was like, "Hey man, how come the app's not working?" I was like, "All right, let me go check their Telegram real quick." Find out they're doing maintenance. Next thing you know, I got an email within 10, 15 minutes. "Hey guys, we're doing maintenance, yada, yada, yada." So that communication right there, that gives users, consumers that breath of relief, all right, somebody's back there working and trying to help me resolve my solution. Instead, Robinhood, I hate keep bashing them in, but that's the topic today. At Robinhood, I got people calling their customer service. They're like, "Yo, we want class action lawsuits." I'm like, Robinhood might be done. That community might be done. They might not recover. So I'm thinking to myself, all those users that were trading on Robinhood, guess where they're going to look towards now? They're going to probably look towards these other crypto exchanges, getting really educated in crypto. So all that money, that capital is going to start to slowly trickle into the crypto market, which is going to just help the crypto market in the whole. But go ahead.
Right.
I was gonna say in general, my and shout out to you with the crypto hopper thing. We used to use crypto hopper as well.
Okay.
We used that and a couple other ones we were playing with the different algos and trading bots and stuff.
Yeah.
And that was a pretty good one if I remember as well. But it's been like a couple of years. So
Yeah.
but as far as just the exchanges, like I know Jeffrey, you're just talking about too. Here's the issue right now with a lot of new people coming to crypto. You need to understand exchanges and platforms like Robinhood, Coinbase, et cetera, are necessary evils for onboarding. That's simple. The fact that people are looking at Robinhood and looking at some of these exchanges like, oh, this is like in a happy way, this is the way to crypto.
Yeah.
That's the problem. Crypto
Yeah.
was made to be used peer-to-peer. Myself to him, myself to you, all different stuff. It wasn't meant to have exchanges working as banks or apps working as banks. So the fact that Robinhood is messing up today does not surprise me. In fact, if you watch our show, we tell people about Robinhood, Coinbase, and the like all the time. You don't own your private keys. If you're on any application or any wallet where you don't own the private keys, this can happen and it will happen. It's inevitable. No one's going to give you money. Now, what's crazy about GameStop and everything right now is that this hasn't happened on the traditional market to scale to where people can really see it for the first time out in public. This is the first time it's been happening now where you see with GameStop and all these different people, whether it's Robinhood with stocks and crypto or just traditional Wall Street companies, wherever everybody's trying to shut down services in the middle of a trading day, or I think it was, pardon me if I messed this up, but I think it was either Dave or Thomas alluded to with some of the different your trader, you can call him, he's not picking up, he's not making the trades for you, you're losing $25,000. Maybe it was Doc who mentioned that. But the point is that these are not the ways crypto is made to be used. It's a necessary evil to go on these exchanges, to go on these platforms, to buy Bitcoin, to buy wherever crypto you have, and to immediately transfer it out. So if you stay on these exchanges, if you're using these wallets, I know we want to, don't get it wrong. I work with exchanges as well. I've talked to some of their CEOs. I'm excited for them as well, but that is not what crypto is created for. And if we do move over to a totally crypto world, which I don't think will happen, we'll still use fiat currency. And, it'll be a percentage of people who always use fiat, or it'll be a percent of our financial infrastructure, but we are going to move over to cryptocurrency. After you onboard, there's no reason for an exchange. After you onboard, there's no reason for Robinhood, PayPal, Coinbase, Voyager, none of them. Again, you can trade in a wallet now. So that's just my spiel on exchange. I think we need to remember that when we talk about some of these places. Yes, they make it easy, and that's because they want to get paid for it. But when it comes to taking out your money, this is the issue we continuously see. And then the other thing I was gonna say is just, I know we mentioned about, Bitcoin's crashing and stuff. Like it's a 12-year-old financial infrastructure for the entire world, a global financial infrastructure we're trying to build, right, or store value. So I think it's going to be, I don't consider it volatile, but whatever, it'll go up and down. It will be volatile until the next 10 or 15 years, I think, because we're talking about a global economy. Of course, it's going to go up and down in the short term. In 12 years, 20 years, 30 years is definitely the short term. So those are just my thoughts on those. When people are investing, it kind of scares them away, when the reality is just like, yo, you're not a trader. Buy the crypto, buy what you want, and then don't look at it just like you don't look at your Coca-Cola stock for 10 years.
Well, yeah, because people are emotionally attached to, trading and investing. That's like the number one rule I try to tell people. Please do not bring any of your emotions into this, because if you do, you're going to lose. You're just going to lose.
All do it though.
I know that, but it's like, I try, like, because my friend's a prime example. Like, I tried to tell them, because he texted me this morning. He's like, dude, AMC and GameStop. I'm like, I told you this last night. I said, yo, it went up because a group of people decided, let's go ahead and take this thing up. There was no fundamentals behind it. Like, bro, GameStop is not doing well. Like, they're shutting down stores. I don't remember the last time I've actually been to GameStop. And I'm a gamer. I buy all my stuff. Oh, sorry.
So I'd love to hear your insights, because you do deep fundamental due diligence on the other side of it. Like, how does that sound to you as a trader that's been doing this for a while?
Well, when I listened to this idea that that somehow the stock market is all manipulated and everything, I mean, there are clearly pockets of the market that can be manipulated, but this idea that I put all my money in crypto, no thanks. And there's no, besides the fact that they limit the supply, I don't really I don't see like what the real intrinsic value is, right? When you buy gold, you at least know it has some kind of worth. Now, of course, fiat money, yes, you could make the argument that fiat money, because they keep printing money, that's going to devalue. But then I would much rather own a company than put my money in crypto, to be honest with you. So I'm not a big, like, I mean, I understand the argument for owning crypto, but if I had clients, which I don't have anymore, I would not. I mean, especially at this point, since it's moved up so much already, you know, for all those people that bought into it like 4 or 5 years ago, and were fortunate enough to buy it at $100 or $200, you know, I think it's great, you know, fantastic. Hats off to you, you know. But that's just that would be my argument. Is, you know, there's a fixed supply. It's with 21 million, I believe, right? That's ever going to be mined. And at that point, it's going to be supply and demand. And the reason why it's moved up so much is because you have Wall Street that's actually putting money in. So you talk about manipulation. I think it's moved up a lot already, where I feel like now they're putting out numbers of $400,000 in the next year or two. I think it's insane. I wouldn't touch it.
I had to disagree with you on that, because that was the same sentiment that was the same sentiment in 2017 when it hit almost $20,000. People was like, "Oh, that's going to be it." That was the same sentiment a few years ago.
Yeah, no, I understand. I understand the argument. It's a fixed supply, and it's you know, it can't be manipulated, right? And that's what people like about it. But I still would rather own something that I know has fundamental value behind it, because it's basically it's an agreement that you have in the same way with money. And I understand the argument, but I would much rather put money into a company that has cash flow behind it, that has some kind of intrinsic value behind it. What do you think about this, Doc? Are you in agreement or disagree?
Yeah, Doc, so you straddle both sides. Would love to hear from you.
I never discuss politics and religion. And this, to me, when we get into this is more of a tribalistic religion that happens between, you know, because I mean, to me, value is in the eye of the beholder. I mean, if I want to buy, you know, any asset, it's always the price at which the buyer and the seller agree on. So fundamentals do not come into play, especially as we've been manipulating currency over the last few years. So to me, I look at things in a price only perspective. The price is going to show you the value of an item to the second. Everything is efficient these days.
But you still haven't answered the question. Do you? I mean, are you like? Do you believe in the crypto value, or would you put money into it for the, you know? I mean,
well, of course I do, because I see it as an asset. It's just a virtual asset. If you try to define it in terms of, you know, the 20th century terms of what an asset is, then you sit there and you're going to twist yourself into a knot. So what you have to do is you have to look forward on this in terms of what value is going to be worth someday down the road, which few people know, but I'm willing to bet on that at this point right now, that it's a virtual asset and it has value.
Dave, I grew up, so I was at PIMCO for 3 years, multi-strategy hedge fund 2008. Howard Marks wrote a memo from Oak Tree Capital a couple of months ago.
Right.
Yeah, so he wrote a very interesting piece called Something of Value, and it basically talks about how the value versus growth debate, right, which is almost a discussion. And it actually, you can hear from him, he's in his 75th year of investing, how he's come to realize that Bitcoin is this new value that you attach to it, where everything used to be before on discounted cash flows and just that intrinsic. But it's very fascinating. I shared a link here, but it helped me bridge the gap with traditional finance towards the new evolution of money.
I'm glad you made that point, because I do think that's like an underlying fundamental issue when you think about Bitcoin and cryptocurrency, is that people are taking that traditional old brain and thinking from Wall Street perspective to cryptocurrency. It just doesn't transfer. Like I was telling somebody the other day, like the fact that people keep arguing about what's valuable and what isn't, it's like we're humans. If I want to start selling, you know, marbles, and you take my marbles and give me whatever you have a value, then marbles count. So it's not one of those things you can be like, well, it don't count, or it's not. It's like, yeah, somebody say it is, somebody got money, it is. All it takes is 2 people, which is why projects like Dogecoin keep pumping and doing well, because they have a community. All it takes is 2 people. We don't need no one else to say it works or it doesn't work. It works technically. So with that being said, again, when I look at Bitcoin, cryptocurrency, specifically the price, I mean, I agree. I definitely agree with Dave. Like we've been telling people, I wouldn't be surprised to see the price slip or another death or crash in the short term, because yeah, a lot of the money right now and a lot of price point has been propped up by institutions. However, like just today we were covering stories. The mayor of Miami posted the Bitcoin white paper. He wants to make Miami a hub. The mayor of Reno, Nevada is posted something about the Chainlink project. She's a Chainlink warrior apparently, right? So it's just one of those things. And then of course the Bank of International Settlements, BIS, they put out that in the next 3 years, which I think actually will happen in the next 12 to 18 months, we're going to have officially CBDCs. That's coming. They say 86% of banks want it. Like this is happening. This is happening. There's not stopping. In fact, the United States has already gotten away from cash since 2014. We've been every year using less and less cash. In Los Angeles, most places don't even take cash anymore. So it's not even
So let me ask you this question. If I had let's just say if I wanted to diversify myself into some Bitcoin, what price do you think is a good price to get into? A fair price, given all the the news flow, all the positive hype that's happened in the last few months.
So that's exactly my point. I think that is the wrong way and the traditional way of looking at it. It's not necessarily a price point. I think the best way, if you're just looking at Bitcoin as an investment, it's the dollar cost average. Because right now, Bitcoin's, even though it's down to 12, 13,000 since its all-time high just 2 or 3 weeks ago, by and large, 2 or 3 weeks ago, no one had lost money in Bitcoin yet. So if you're just $20 a week, $100 a month, $1,000 a month, discretionary income, then it doesn't matter, because one Bitcoin doesn't equal $30,000 or $40,000. One Bitcoin equals one Bitcoin. It can be divisible up to a hundredth of a million, right? That's why we have Satoshi. So the fact that everybody keeps comparing it to the dollar amount is what's wrong, because the dollar amount, we just printed $900 billion, or we're about to print $900 billion for pandemic relief. Of course, the price is going to swell up some, but one Bitcoin still is one Bitcoin. So I always tell people dollar cost average, which you won't lose. Again, $100 a week, a month, or whatever it is that works for you. Stop looking at the price and look at the technology, because if you look at the actual technology, there's nothing wrong with the tech. The tech works. It's open source. Everybody can go in there. They're making developments to it all the time. So that's just my thought on it. The technology is valuable. It works. And if you dollar cost average, you'll keep winning, as people have kept winning. And then again, the people in 2017, 2018 too, who bought at the top, they did turn to 2 or 3 year bag holders. And I wouldn't be surprised if the people who just bought at 42,000, or people still say at the end of this year, it can go up to parabolic rates, maybe 60, 50,000, whatever. Let's say it goes to $50,000 a share and it drops back down to 20,000, 25,000 for the next 2 or 3 years. That is normal. Every 2 or 3 years, when it hits that big dip, you got a bag hold for another 2 or 3 years. So I'm with you on that. That is normal. But for the people who freak out and sell, then yeah, they will lose money.
Dave, I do recommend, so Hedgeye, they provide hedge fund quality research for everyday investors. I shared a screenshot, but they place a trading range, the sell range at 39,000 and the buy range right now at 29,000. So they actually bring together like hedge fund quality with also just this new, and I think that the reports are fantastic.
Okay, I'll check it out. I'm a bit of a newbie to the whole.
I'm gonna reel you in, Dave. I'm trying to get you
But I know my brother's a big advocate of it, and some of my other buddies as well. But I'll keep an open mind.
And
Dave, you
just
should
to add
also.
what King said, I also believe too that it depends on the individual. Like it depends on how you look at Bitcoin, how you're gonna treat it, how you're gonna use it. Like for me, I have it where it's long term for me, but I'm also going to use it, traditionally, like I would use my bank account, fiat, whatever the case would be, because one, I know where it's going, I know where it's been. I've been in the bear market, I've been in the bull market, so I feel comfortable enough to basically make money with it whenever I need to. But at the same time, I'll store that in a different vault or whatever the case may be. But I think at the end of the day, it depends on the individual. A lot of people, like he was saying, have that traditional thought of just coming from Wall Street. You can't bring that to the crypto space. You just can't, because it's not traditional. It's very different. It's very different in so many different ways, just like how, everybody's trying to get Dogecoin to $1. Like there's a lot of different technicalities with crypto and the crypto space that it really just depends on that individual. Yeah, you can use it for, investment. Some people want to use it like every day just for peer-to-peer necessary reasons. Some people I'm starting to see certain small pop and shop stops are accepting Bitcoin. Like you're starting to see a lot more Bitcoin ATMs. Like I really truly believe, like I said, the crypto space is going to really, I feel like it's going to take over. I think the whole fiat and all that stuff, I feel like that's the OG way. That's the OG way, the traditional way.
Well, clearly, the more people that get involved, and you know, and the more that you know, reputable institutions get involved, then it's gonna be a self-fulfilling prophecy, right? So that part of it makes sense too. So you know, I mean, again, I see the argument. It's just that I have difficulty understanding the whole idea of buying into something that it's just besides the fact that there's a fixed quantity, that there's nothing else. You know, that I think is difficult for me to kind of comprehend.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hear you on that one. Because I mean, there's been times where I've compared it to, like, you know, when you buy art, because, you know, art's scarce. And you're going to buy a painting that might be worth 1.4 million, yada, yada, yada. Somebody sits on that. Yeah, you can look at it. That's cool and all. You can look at it, but can you go to, you know, somewhere in Bali and go use it and buy something with it? No, you can't. You can with Bitcoin, though. That's obviously, that's a little bit of difference. But no, I completely understand where you're coming from. I understand what you're saying. But nah, I think, like I said,
so what is a good allocation to put into Bitworth? What do you guys think is a you know, if I'm a retired person, or if I am, let's just say that I'm an up and coming professional, and you know, what is a good allocation to put in? What should an average allocation be for your average?
I've always told clients discretionary income, period. So whatever, like literally money that you were throwing. When I first started in crypto, I was going out a lot, like saying going to bars, party and all that. I literally said, you know what, I'm going to stop going out for months, and I'm just going to use everything I would use every weekend and go out on crypto. That's what I started in 2016. And then when I saw how real it's becoming in 2017, I really started allocating. But that's what I was telling everybody then. I still tell everybody now. I'm like, hey, I get it. It is a scary thing. And of course, if you're not looking at it every day, it is super volatile. You know, you wake up one morning, it's 40, you wake up the next, it's 20. You're like, wait, what? You know, especially like you said, you're dealing with maybe retired people, life savings. They're trying to get IRAs involved now. This stuff is becoming serious. So I do get the concern. And with that, I still tell people discretionary income. If it's that scary.
What about percentage of net worth? What would you say?
Right.
1 to 2%.
1 to 2%.
Because that's all you need. That's what people don't understand. That's all you need in crypto. Let's say if a person is poor and they can barely scrape together $100, if they would have put $20 into Bitcoin when a stimulus package, or let's just use a stimulus check, for example. Yeah, let's say you make under 75,000 in the United States, you receive that $600 stimulus check. Was it back in February or March of 2020? Price of Bitcoin dropped to $3,000 during that same time. Those who invested that $600 into the $3,000 price per Bitcoin at the time, you see where it's at now. So again, it's just one of the things I always tell people. If $1,000 is a discretionary to you, then use it a month or every week or whatever. If it's $20, then use that, because the return is still going to be the same.
Yeah, same thing when I consult people as well. I always ask them, like, what are you most comfortable with? It could be 2, 5%, wherever you're comfortable with. I'll show you slowly, gradually show you that you can make a percentage on that without having to necessarily throw in a whole lot of money, where now you're going to, okay, you potentially lose that. Now it leaves a bad taste in your mouth. So I try to start people with like a small amount, because one, they're very new to this. They have no idea what's going on. So again, and they're emotionally attached. So that's why I try to kind of, you know, break it down to them that, hey, you can start off with $10, $20, $30. Those small little amounts that you're starting off with will turn into like $50, $100. You'll be surprised. But it just, like I said, it depends on, you know, your personal state, what you're comfortable with. Some people are comfortable with more, some are comfortable with less. I just try to, you know, give them the best gauge I can.
We do want to wrap it up. Again, the purpose of this is really to bring together the community, support each other any way we can. You know, kind of going around the room, what is your favorite trade idea for 2021? I know some people mentioned it, but if you had to just pick one winner for 2021, I'm kind of curious. Mine would be Bitcoin and Celsius network.
Celsius network. I like Celsius, man. I've been collecting that interest.
What would your be for 2021? What would be your favorite play?
Favorite play right now, I gotta say, obviously Chainlink. Chainlink's been booming for me. It's been doing really well for my portfolio. And then,
a real link marine.
Yeah, yes, sir. Chainlink to $50. I'm just kidding. My bad.
Cool.
I would say Chainlink definitely. And then a lot of people are not talking about, but I think Ethereum is going to have a big year.
Yeah.
I really think so.
That's awesome. Thanks. Thomas, what would yours be?
I would definitely say Polkadot parachains, the whole ecosystem.
Yeah,
It's gonna do well.
Wow.
We'll see, you know, how Ethereum performs, because that's the thing. I'm gambling a lot on Polkadot because Ethereum 2.0 has at least like maybe 2 years to go, and I mean they're the market leader at the moment, but I think 2 years is in crypto. It's a lifetime. And if they can sort out their stuff within 2-3 years, then I think other chains like Polkadot can steal some big market share.
That's
So
awesome.
we'll see how
Thanks.
this
Doc,
goes.
what is your big play for 2021?
In the equities market, it's definitely options on SPACs for EV companies as well as green energy companies. I just think that to me is just a no-brainer. And in the crypto space, it's really, to me, top two market as well as DeFi. So top two, whether it's Bitcoin, Ethereum, and then anything in DeFi right now has been super hot. So
Yeah.
continuing to play those to the upside.
That's good. Doc, CCIV, is that, would you put that?
Yeah.
Churchill Capital, which is going to be Lucid Motors most likely. So you guys remember Johnny Ive, right? The designer for Apple. He's on board with Lucid. So there's all kinds of reasons. Yeah, he's going to be talking about cars. It's like, it's not a car you drive. It's something you wrap yourself around. You know.
Love it. Thanks, Doc.
Thanks.
Dave, how about you? The big play, is it the real big play?
Yes, and I would say pharmaceutical companies like Rite Aid. It's not so big yet. It's like $2 billion market cap. It has a big high short interest as well. I think everyone who has to get their vaccine shot taken, it will drive up store traffic, and stock price should follow.
I love it. Thanks. King Blast, how about you?
Yeah, same. Of course, looking at all things Bitcoin, especially since the SEC came down on XRP and Ripple, because if they do win that and Ripple goes down, I think a lot of the altcoin market will go with it. But first and foremost would be Bitcoin. And then secondly, especially since it's pumping right now, I would say Dogecoin. And I always say Dogecoin. People always laugh. I was going to say, every time I say it, people laugh. And you have a right to, because it is hilarious. However, as I keep telling people, it is a community, and they keep trying to, like, they've been trying to pump this thing since I got started in crypto. I've been seeing them pump. So it's just one of those things that always happens. I told our viewers like weeks ago, months ago, years ago, we tell them all the time. It's like when there's a bull market going on in crypto space and Bitcoin, Doge will be pumped, period. After I saw about the whole trying to get it to $1 yesterday, with Wall Street bets trying to get it to $1, I'm like, all right, that's not about to happen. It's less than a penny when they said, or yeah, it was less than a penny, about 0.007 cent when they said it. But while I knew they weren't gonna get it to $1, I said I know they're gonna pump it though, because you can't pump it. You're just not gonna pump it to $1 overnight. And literally, like, I mean, from yesterday 0.007 cent to even this morning, it was at 0.0014, so about 1 cent, or 0.014 cent. And then I just looked at it right now, and it's like 0.025. And this is all happening.
Pumped by 100%.
Yeah, I caught some profit off that little rally.
I'm catching it right now. That's why I keep looking down.
I caught the wave.
I'm catching it out.
50 cents.
So again, Doge is a funny one. However, it pumps. Now, this thing is definitely going to retrace as well. Like, it's going to dip down and everything, but they're going to try again, and they're going to keep trying, because it's the funny coin that everyone knows about, and it's on all types of video games and everything like that. So again, Bitcoin and Doge only because of the community.
Very cool. Thanks, King.
The community is actually the biggest part, right, behind all of that. And actually, for me, I really believe in Ethereum. And I don't know if you guys are watching, but layer 2 protocols are coming into play, and it's going to solve a lot of the issues on the Ethereum stack. But yeah, I really believe in where Ethereum is going. So, Thomas, you're in the Polkadot world, where I'm believing in the Ethereum side. But yeah, there's a lot of exciting. And this panel was pretty cool. We had Wall Street with crypto, and kind of a great discussion between the two. I do want to close it out because we're wrapping up into the hour. But thank you so much for everyone to join and share the discussion with the entire community. We believe in the wisdom of the crowds and putting thought leaders and people at the forefront like you to just discuss topics like these. Is exactly why we're hosting these masterminds. So, here at Crowdcreate, we do just that. So we connect you with projects and the other way around. So if you guys want to reach us or talk to us about how we can help you we're at crowdcreate.us. And thank you everyone for joining. And we'll see you at the next Mastermind. Let's continue this discussion.
Thanks for having us. This is fun, guys.
Thanks,
Bye.
guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Nice seeing everybody.
On these Crowdcreate Masterminds, we bring these thought leaders to the front of the room to share their insights with you. We believe in the wisdom of the crowds. Every week, we come to you with a new episode to share these insights to help you get ahead.